The scene unfolded on the eve of the trial, in a quaint inn where Lucas found solace in the embrace of his drink. The room buzzed with pre-trial anticipation, an atmosphere Lucas had not expected. The gathering of applicants exceeded his imagination, and the lively hubbub echoed the aspirations of those seeking a chance in the impending trial. At a corner table, 3 raucous individuals caught Lucas's attention. Their copper IDs, proudly hanging from their belts, marked them as C-rank mercenaries. Meanwhile, at the bar, another trio exhibited an air of battle-hardened experience, though lacking the visible insignia of mercenaries. Lucas mused about the mysteries surrounding these characters and the unspoken tales etched into their expressions. Dimitry boasted several inns, and Lucas pondered the significance of his chosen abode amidst the plethora of options. In this modest town, home to only a handful of decent people, the concentration of skilled applicants surpassed Lucas's expectations. The inn's patrons seemed cut from different cloths, each with a unique story and purpose for being there. Frustration gripped Lucas as he struggled to comprehend the convergence of seasoned warriors with the likes of him, driven by curiosity rather than necessity. His mug slammed onto the table, a manifestation of his perplexity and the weight of the unknown that hung in the air. Contemplating an early exit, Lucas found his attention unexpectedly hijacked by a conversation unfolding nearby. A man inquired of his companion Henderson about the reason for his presence. Henderson revealed his initial intention to enlist in the soldiers of the Lawrence family, his hometown's noble lineage. However, the trajectory of Henderson's fate shifted after witnessing Roman Dimitry's ruthless dismantling of the Blood Fang in Lawrence. The mere mention of Roman's name changed the atmosphere. Henderson's narrative unfolded with vivid imagery. The plaza, Roman covered in blood, dragging the Blood Fang leader by his hair. The recounting of this scene was a turning point, a visceral testament to the lengths Roman went to for justice. Lawrence, embroiled in skepticism and denial, doubted the reality of the incident. But for Henderson, there was no room for doubt. He had stood in the plaza, witnessed the indomitable strength of Roman Dimitry, and felt the shivers coursing through his spine. It was a moment etched in his memory, an undeniable truth that defied the rumors portraying Roman as a mere weakling. In the bustling inn, Henderson's impassioned proclamation echoed through the air, fueled by the influence of alcohol. He fervently asserted that Roman Dimitry was more than a leader. He was a true champion fighting for the welfare of his people. The recruitment for private soldiers, Henderson believed, was an unparalleled opportunity to become a loyal subordinate to Roman. As the eyes of the inn's patrons turned towards him, Henderson boldly declared his intent to pass the impending trial, secure permanent residence in Dimitry, and pledge allegiance to Roman, willing to lay down his life for him. This revelation left Lucas stunned, prompting him to reconsider the seemingly coincidental gathering of applicants. The dawn of the trial arrived, casting a wave of anticipation over the crowd. Lucas, reflecting on Henderson's words from the night before, grappled with a pivotal decision. If Roman Dimitry was indeed the leader described by Henderson, Lucas pondered the choices before him. He sensed a collective unease among the applicants, each facing their own internal dilemmas after hearing the rumors. Lucas anticipated that the moment of truth would unfold when they witnessed Roman's actions during the trial. As the tension reached its peak, Roman Dimitry made a grand entrance, commanding the attention of everyone present. Lucas observed in awe as an unspoken command compelled the crowd to lower their heads and make way for Roman. It became evident to Lucas that the rumors surrounding Roman were not mere exaggerations. There was an undeniable aura of authority surrounding the young leader. Roman ascended the stage, and a collective gasp swept through the crowd. Breaking the silence, he instructed the applicants to raise their heads. The unexpected presence of Roman left everyone in suspense, eager to hear his address. With the crowd's attention firmly in his grasp, Roman disclosed his plans. Contrary to expectations, he revealed that he had no intention of leading a secluded life in a remote territory. The revelation surprised the onlookers, who had anticipated a different path for the noble leader. Roman continued, articulating his relentless pursuit of a higher position and the inevitability of battles where lives hung in the balance. The gravity of his words hung in the air, challenging those who aspired to follow him to reconsider their commitment. Roman extended a warning to those without unwavering resolve, offering them a chance to turn back before the trials began. He emphasized that the path he treaded was one of constant struggle, and that following him required more than a passing curiosity or superficial dedication. Roman's declaration underscored the profound risks and challenges that awaited those who chose to stand alongside him. In closing, Roman made it clear that, in the face of potential casualties, resentment should not be directed towards him. The idea that the only regret anyone might harbor would be missing the chance to witness Roman standing as the most powerful on the continent by his side was met with disbelief. The gravity of Roman's ambition unsettled the gathered crowd, and for Lucas, it was a moment of incredulity. How could Roman, whose position within his own family was in question, aspire to such heights? To Lucas, it seemed like an unwarranted display of arrogance, yet there lingered a peculiar sense that Roman might possess the ability to turn this audacious dream into reality. Amidst the murmurs of confusion, Chris stepped forward, seizing control of the situation. He took it upon himself to lay out the instructions for the first trial, injecting a sense of urgency into the atmosphere. The trial, as he explained, was deceptively simple. An archer stationed nearby would unleash 3 arrows upon an applicant standing at a designated location. The arrows could either graze the individual, embed themselves in the plate behind, or, in the most extreme scenario, strike the applicant directly, potentially causing fatal harm. The catch? Only those who remained motionless throughout the barrage of arrows would pass the trial. The announcement left everyone in the room in stunned silence. The audacity of such a trial raised eyebrows and fueled skepticism. Chris, undeterred by the collective disbelief, proceeded with the first trial, calling forward the applicants in the order of their names. As the first brave soul stepped onto the designated spot, a ripple of uncertainty spread through the onlookers. Among them, a skeptic pondered the implausibility of aiming potentially lethal arrows at private soldier applicants. The logical reasoning dictated that subjecting participants to life-threatening trials seemed far-fetched. After all, the archer must be highly skilled, and the notion of a mistake was dismissed as absurd. The archer's first shot, calculated and deliberate, narrowly missed the guy's neck, hitting the wooden wall behind him. It was a tense moment, and onlookers convinced themselves that this was merely a psychological test. Holding firm and believing that nothing would transpire seemed like the key to success. However, as the archer released the second arrow, the atmosphere shifted. The projectile found its mark, striking the applicant in the right leg. The sudden and unexpected injury sent shockwaves through the room. The participant crumpled to the ground in pain, vividly illustrating the harsh reality of the trials. Chris, unflinching, ordered a soldier to escort the wounded individual to the medic, emphasizing the unforgiving nature of the challenges that lay ahead. The room was left in a somber state, the gravity of Roman's ambitions mirrored in the severity of the first trial. The air was thick with tension and realization as the applicants grappled not only with the physical trials before them, but also with the enormity of the leader they had chosen to follow. As the wounded participant was led away, shock permeated the room. Undeterred, Chris called for the next participant. However, the recent spectacle had a profound effect on the following applicant, who stood motionless, grappling with the sight of the arrow piercing the previous participant's thigh. The severity of the injury left the second applicant stunned, contemplating the inherent risks of the trial. Chris, recognizing the hesitancy among the applicants, acknowledged that it seemed to align with Liege Roman's foresight. Addressing the paralyzed second applicant directly, Chris assumed that the individual had surrendered to the challenges ahead, acknowledging the trial's daunting nature. Direct and unwavering, Chris offered those fearful of arrow strikes an opportunity to withdraw from the trials on the spot. He made it clear that enduring to the end, even if struck, would earn them the proud qualification of having passed the first trial. The choice presented was stark: confront the trials head-on or choose the path of withdrawal. With frustration evident in his voice, Chris shouted at the applicants, challenging the courage of anyone considering themselves a coward. The once anticipatory end now echoed with the weighty decisions each applicant had to make, to embrace the trials or succumb to their fears and exit the hall. The narrative unfolds in Roman's office. A day before the pivotal trial, Roman gathers a group of men and issues a directive that will set the tone for the challenges to come. He reveals that in the upcoming trial, they will be struck by arrows. The gravity of the situation becomes evident as Roman introduces an expert archer, emphasizing that the arrows will target non-fatal areas. The archer, exuding confidence, reassures the men that they need not worry about errant shots. Roman, embodying a mix of authority and purpose, proceeds to reward the men with a box filled with gold. The glint in their eyes at the sight of the precious metal illustrates the allure of the reward. However, Roman tempers the excitement with a stark reality check. He makes it clear that although medics will be on standby to tend to injuries, the fact remains that each man will be struck by an arrow. Undeterred, Roman poses a crucial question: will they still proceed? The response is unanimous, a collective affirmation that echoes through the room. The men, seemingly undaunted by the impending ordeal, take their leave. Chris, a confidant of Roman, seeks an explanation for the extreme measures. Roman candidly shares that mere threats won't lead him to the individuals he seeks. To truly find those he's looking for, Roman believes he must show these men that they are putting their lives on the line. It's a visceral demonstration of commitment, a litmus test for those who aspire to be in Roman's service. Roman's rationale extends beyond the physical trial. He believes that even if the chances of being struck by an arrow are slim, most applicants will face it, revealing their innate resilience. The core of his search is individuals with a robust mentality, those born with what he terms the heart of a beast. This is not just a trial, it's a revelation of character. As the narrative shifts back to the present, the trial itself unfolds. Many applicants, unable to grapple with the reality of the challenges, have given up and left. Chris, surveying the diminished crowd, estimates that approximately 100 people remain. The scenes at the trial underscore the significance of Roman's quest for the heart of a beast. It's not merely about enduring physical hardships, it's about possessing innate strength that sets certain individuals apart. Roman, reflecting on the concept of the heart of a beast, identifies it as an innate talent. It's not just about the willingness to face challenges head-on, but also a unique disposition that distinguishes certain individuals. Roman draws parallels with those who have already demonstrated this innate strength, like Kevin, who executed orders without hesitation, or Chris, who sought strength even after facing a humiliating defeat. Roman deems it crucial to identify and select individuals with this exceptional quality, a sentiment that becomes the driving force behind the upcoming trial. As Roman issues the command to resume the trial, Lucas's mind wanders back to a pivotal moment at the inn. He recalls Henderson, now facing the trial. The visible terror on Henderson's face as the archer readies the first arrow sets the stage for a tense and critical moment. The initial arrow narrowly misses Henderson's head, intensifying the suspense. The second arrow strikes perilously close to Henderson's right arm, prompting thoughts of surrender. Henderson contemplates giving up, fearing the potential impact of the impending third arrow. However, the archer, with precise timing, releases the third arrow, hitting the target between Henderson's legs. Luck favors Henderson, and he successfully navigates the trial. Lucas, witnessing the close call, reflects on the fine line between success and surrender in such challenging circumstances. As the other participants face their own trials, the scene shifts to the culmination of the first trial. Excluding those who yielded, approximately 400 applicants persist. Of these, 120 emerge as successful candidates. Roman, evaluating the results, notes the diverse reactions among the participants, some trembling with fear, while others face the challenge with indifference. In Roman's eyes, both groups exhibit a shared trait, the courage to confront their fears, meeting the standards he deems essential. Reflecting on the broader context, Roman recognizes the need to sift through the gathered multitude, distinguishing those with genuine potential from those present for circumstantial or ulterior motives. His discerning gaze seeks individuals who will regard him with awe rather than mere fear. This discernment becomes a critical aspect of Roman's strategy in assembling a cohort of truly exceptional individuals. Addressing the 120 successful applicants, Roman commends their passage of the first trial as evidence of their worth as warriors. Yet with a firm tone, he underscores that only 30 will be accepted as his subordinates. The announcement introduces a new layer of reality and urgency, emphasizing the high stakes and rigorous standards that define Roman's selection process. The narrative deepens as Roman reveals plans for a second trial, another formidable test that will separate the chosen few from the rest. Success in this subsequent trial will elevate them to the coveted position of Roman's subordinate, a role that promises a life akin to that of a predator. The gravity of the announcement underscores the intense scrutiny and expectations placed on those who aspire to stand alongside Roman. Lucas is left astounded by the unexpected turn of events as Roman moves forward with the second trial. The air in the room thickens with anticipation as Roman outlines the straightforward rules for the participants. Wooden swords of various types are laid out, and Roman informs them that they have the freedom to choose any sword they prefer. The essence of the trial becomes clear. Each participant is tasked with proving their worth through a one-on-one duel with Roman himself. The audacity of Roman's decision to face all 120 applicants individually in a duel doesn't escape Lucas's notice. Roman, with a serious expression, addresses the participants, alleviating some of the pressure by stating that winning is not a requirement. Those who can endure and last even a mere minute against him will pass the trial, and they'll be rewarded with conditions surpassing those outlined in the notice. A bald man named Vulcan steps forward eagerly, volunteering to be the first to face Roman in the duel. A bald man steps forward, confronting Roman. Roman inquires about the bald man's name, and he introduces himself as Vulcan. Roman then checks if Vulcan is comfortable using the wooden sword, and Vulcan reassures him that it's perfectly fine. However, lurking beneath his confidence is an underestimation of Roman's abilities. Vulcan, even considering the rumors of Roman subjugating Bloodfang, believes it's impossible for Roman to defeat him in under a minute. As the duel begins, Chris signals the start, and Vulcan charges forward at full speed, determined to make an impression. Yet to his astonishment, Roman displays an agility and precision that catches Vulcan off guard. In a swift motion, Roman dodges Vulcan's attack, leaving him sprawled on the ground with Roman's sword poised at his neck. The unexpected turn of events emphasizes the vast difference in skill between Roman and the participants. With a serious demeanor, Roman calls for the next applicant, setting the stage for a series of individual duels. Lucas, witnessing this display of Roman's prowess, is thoroughly impressed. The movements Roman exhibited were not just swift, they were seemingly impossible, defying the laws of physics. Lucas grapples with the realization that this second trial is poised to be incomparably more difficult than the first. The room is charged with tension as Roman stands firm, a purple aura enveloping him. The collective gasp that swept through the onlookers was palpable as Roman effortlessly defeated Vulcan. The initial shock lingered, giving way to a curious mix of disbelief and admiration. As the duels repeated and time ticked away, the participants held on to the hope that facing Roman would gradually become more manageable. It was a commonly held belief that his stamina would eventually wane, providing them with an opportunity to strike. However, Roman defied their expectations. An hour passed since the commencement of the second round, and Roman had engaged in an astounding 60 duels, emerging victorious in each one. What baffled everyone even more was the conspicuous absence of any signs of fatigue on Roman's part. The relentless pace at which he fought seemed to have no impact on his energy reserves. Henderson, initially skeptical of Roman's prowess, found himself reevaluating his perception. Roman's earlier words, spoken with a self-assured demeanor, now took on a new meaning. Henderson realized that Roman Dimitry wasn't just a participant. He was a predator in this ruthless world of survival. The realization hit him with a clarity that bordered on unsettling. As Henderson scrutinized Roman, he sensed an aura of undeniable power. Roman's ability to navigate the duels with such ease suggested a dominance that transcended the physical realm. The Fool of Dimitry, as Roman was often labeled, now appeared as a force to be reckoned with, a potential leader in this chaotic landscape. Contemplating the situation, Henderson understood the significance of this moment. While Roman was still underestimated by many, this might be the only chance of a lifetime to align oneself with such a formidable force. Becoming Roman's subordinate in this cutthroat world could mean not just survival but a position of influence and strength. Yet the daunting question lingered: how could they face this apparent monster? The reluctance among the applicants was palpable, an unspoken agreement that challenging Roman was a perilous endeavor. In response, Roman issued a stern ultimatum: if no one stepped forward, everyone would fail. Just when hesitation threatened to paralyze the group, a lone figure emerged. Lucas, the 61st applicant, stepped forward with determination etched across his face. Addressing Roman, he bravely declared his name, breaking the tense silence that had enveloped the arena.